Ladies and gentlemen, what's up? It's Fresh Talk.
It is Fresh Talk.
My name is Chris.
I'm Dan.
And we are back.
Yes.
Well, we didn't go anywhere.
Well, you did. I did too.
Well, we were absent last week.
We were absent, yeah.
We took a week off, but things just got super busy. It was one of those busy weeks.
You got in an avocado fight or something?
Yes, I got in an avocado fight. We'll talk more about my avocado experience. How's everything going, Dan? How are you?
I'm doing well.
Cool
Thank you.
nursing
How
a
are you?
Moscow Mule, I see.
Definitely, always. There's
A little
some delicious-
cocktail. There's a limited edition Snapple that I found at your market that's right down the street or sort of down the street.
Right next to Maggie's.
Yo, that's a scary ass market.
Yes,
dog.
it is.
Whoa. I rolled in there and like it's kind of like third world country over there. Like I know we've explained this before for listeners of the podcast.
Yeah.
Your parents' basement, the barrage where we record this from, is located on the far end of our city, but it's kind of off in the woods.
It's actually outside city limits.
Outside city limits, yes. So we're in Ventura, but we're not in Ventura. Anyway, I decided to try this kind of small, sort of dodgy looking market that almost looks like a rest stop that we would have stopped at on tour going through New Mexico or something. And it was creepy in there, man. There was this weird white trash couple, and there was this little baby crying, and it was really uncomfortable. Like, and you don't want to instantly judge parents, but these look like shitty fucking parents.
Kind of out here, at least over there where that is. My neighborhood's a little.
Yeah, your neighborhood's nice.
Neighborhood's a little. Yeah, it's a little shitty over there.
Yeah, it's just like, and it just had this weird. And then I have an active imagination. My mind starts wondering who are these people? Why do they have these kids? They're kind of old. Why do they have this young little baby? Are they not treating it right? And of course, I think that's a definite. She kind of like yelled a little bit at the husband in front of the baby, and it's an infant. And I'm just like, this whole situation is fucking bad. I got to get out of here. And my heart went out for the kid. God bless it. But however, I was stunned at the amount of beverages they have at that market. It's a nice ass selection. I only found this once randomly on the road, so I was stunned to see a Snapple flavor that I really like at a place that I thought was going to have nothing. I thought it was going to be like one of those markets. It's like they have Coke and that's it. So heck of a nice place. I may make that a new drink spot on my way to visit you in the future.
Awesome. And the Mexican joint next door, Maggie's, is pretty decent.
Yeah.
Not as good as the place by your place where I used to live as well, but it's good.
Yeah, interesting. Right on. How's everything been? You okay?
Yeah, everything's good. Just been busy. I had a couple great experiences, which we'll cover as we get to our segments. I went to Universal Halloween Horror Nights on Thursday.
How was it?
It's phenomenal.
Is that your rave of the week? I don't want to lose.
No. That's not even my pick of the week. This is just what's been going on.
Okay.
Kai his wife got us some free passes, including front of the line passes, which is
nice.
I think in total is about $200 a ticket for both of those things.
It's getting to the point to go to amusement parks anymore. You need to get all the extra, the front of the line, the fast pass, all that stuff.
But it was super cool. We got there right before it opened because they shut the park for like an hour and a half while they get the Horror Nights ready, right? So they have the fence all shut off, and you can kind of get into the main part of the park, but you can't get into the whole park. So they kind of cut you off at the beginning, and they had this big, like at 7, right when they opened, there's all these monsters, like on stilts and stuff, and there was this big speech that the main rat monster did.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Like, this is we're rising again. This is our time, and then of course there's new metal playing, and like at the pinnacle of the speech, like fire goes off, and there was like and then all these dudes in chainsaws run out into the crowd. It was pretty badass. Like,
that sounds awesome.
It's Universal, so they do it up. It's a studio. Yeah,
totally. And they get a bunch of unemployed actors that like really believe in their parts. And stuff,
and there's scare actors all over the park. And there were 6 haunted houses, and the Terror Tram, and all the rides were open. It was a blast, man.
Man, that sounds fun.
It was fun.
Yeah, that shocks me that you would go to something like that on a weeknight.
Well,
you're a weekend activity guy.
No, I totally am. But I was like, you know what? Front of the line passes, Universal for free. It's Halloween Horror Nights.
I love Universal.
I'm gonna take. I had some comp time, so I took it on Friday.
I
went
like
in late.
Universal almost more than going to Disneyland. I mean, Disneyland's iconic and awesome. Don't get me wrong; it's a blast. But
I'm not a Disney fanatic, but that's blasphemy.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I just like the studio tour.
Studio's cool.
As a big movie fan, I love the studio tour on the tram, and they show you where they film all that stuff. Awesome. I like that stuff.
But as an amusement park,
yeah, you're right.
It's all movie based, which is cool. I mean, the Mummy's awesome. The Simpsons ride is fantastic. The Simpsons Springfield is now open.
Man, I haven't gone there in a while.
Badass. You can see in their building Hogwarts and all the Harry Potter stuff, which is kind of fucking rule.
Yeah. Try that damn butterbeer that everybody in Florida gets to have. Fuckers. I heard it just basically tastes like kind of like butterscotch soda.
That's how it's described in the book.
Yeah, has a butterscotch. Yeah, but in the books, you're just like, I want a butterbeer so bad.
Well, I finally got to have a Krusty Burger, so that was cool.
They have Krusty Burgers.
They have them. Moses there. You can get a flaming Mo.
No way.
Yeah,
that's too cool.
It's not alcoholic, but it's soda. When they put dry ice in the bottom. There's a little cup that goes under the cup, and it like bubbles up.
Crusty burger.
It wasn't worth the $17 I spent on it, but it was good.
Yeah, I can imagine. Right on. Well, let's get to the picks of the week.
How have you been?
I'm good. I'm good.
I know we're going to talk about it.
Yeah, I think our main subject is going to entertain what I sort of spent the past couple of days doing in my personal life.
All right.
So I'll hold on that. But I'm doing good. Thanks for asking. Raves of the week. You got something for us?
I do.
What are you feeling? What are you doing?
So I know we talked about this already, but it's pertinent in that it just came out as a movie, The Martian.
I'm stunned because I think the previews for that looked terrible, and it killed at the box office.
It's been killing.
Yeah, it's rocking. But
I love
really?
It. Well, I read the book.
Okay.
Well, I guess
based on a book.
It's based on a book. It was a runaway bestseller book.
Because we're gonna have similar. You'll see when I have my rave of the week.
All right.
Go on.
It was this guy's a software engineer, just had and like a space dork, a self-described space dork, loves space, and was sort of thinking about problem solving in space. Like if we went to Mars, what would we do? What problems would they face? And he like wrote this novel about it. And it's fucking great.
Okay.
It's funny.
So did you read the book before you saw the movie?
Oh, I read the book like a year ago.
Okay.
It's fabulous. And I actually listened to it on Audible. It's the guy that does the voiceover, the reading of it is wonderful. He does such a great performance. It's funny. Okay. It's smart. It's as scientifically accurate as he could make it. Like there's a couple of like gimmies that he had to do for plot points and stuff, but he kind of did like all the math and did all the space science.
So great book, gets a bunch of raves. Rights are sold, all that jazz, and it becomes a Matt Damon film.
It does become a Matt Damon film, which I was initially worried about. I like Matt Damon. I'm a Matt Damon fan, but even as
I'm not against Matt Damon.
I know a lot of people.
I'd probably be a little more against Ben Affleck than Matt Damon.
I've come around again. Like he's swung full circle, but that's a topic for another time.
Yeah.
So Ridley Scott signs on to direct the movie.
Okay. Which is hit or miss.
Which is hit or miss, but I don't think that's always his fault. And the movie's fucking fantastic. I mean, Andy Weir, the guy who wrote it, isn't consulted. Like they sent him some script things, like, can you check this? Whatever, do you have any ideas? But he wasn't really consulted. He was invited to be on set when they filmed it. But that was it. Like the movie was fantastic. It was really, really true to the book. They did a great job of preserving the witty sense of humor that happens in pretty much the entire book. Okay. They obviously had to skip a lot because it's a long book and they only have, it's like a 2.5 hour movie. So, but it's very, very faithful, very, very good. I recommend it. It's fabulous.
Wow. Good. There you go. That's a heck of a review right there for The Martian with Matt Damon. I just don't like that I felt like they gave away a lot in the trailers that have been on TV. There wasn't a lot of mystery. Like they even show the moment where everybody back home suddenly finds out he's still alive. Like, I don't know why you'd put that in the trailer. To me, that's probably like a real big emotional part of the film.
Because it's not like a secret, if that makes sense. Like it's,
but, I mean, like not knowing anything about it, watching it, like you're gonna the moment where everybody's all stunned and overjoyed that he's still alive, and you put that whole scene in the trailer.
I will say,
I'm still alive, everybody.
It was a little emotionally flat. The book did a better job of some of the ups and downs, but it was, that aside, it was still excellent, and I recommend it.
Sweet. Well, check this out. My rave of the week is the first 85% of the film Gone Girl. Apparently, I am the last asshole on planet Earth to see this movie.
No, because I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen it?
No.
Okay. Huge movie.
It was massive.
Massive. Absolutely massive film, of course. Based off a book that was a massive book that was actually very popular with women, as strange as that is. Written by a woman, very popular.
Books are popular with women.
Yeah, you know. Housewife kind of book. Oddly enough, it's about a mysterious housewife that goes missing, for lack of a better word, go figure. But here's the catch. Ben Affleck's in it. You mentioned Matt Damon. Both of those guys can be weird, hit or miss, full circle, whatever you want to call it. I saw this movie. It's been on my DVR for like a year. It's one of those things I just never got around to watching it when it was in the theaters and everybody was freaking out because, as far as I know, primarily it got great reviews.
It did.
But beyond critical, it was a massive commercial success. Now, David Fincher directed it. And David Fincher is the Fight Club guy, correct?
Right.
He's known for his psychological type flicks that get a little wacky here and there. And that's his bread and butter. So for me, I wasn't going down the road that it was going to be one of those sort of psychological type films. I just thought it was going to be a bitchin' murder mystery film, like done really, really well, like a Clint Eastwood Mystic River kind of thing. I thought that's what I was getting myself involved into.
Well, that's a great film, Mystic River.
And I loved the first 85% of this film. I'm like, I get it. I get why it's a rage. And since you have not seen it, Dan, because I'd like you to see it, I'm not going to give anything away, but beyond the fact that I hate the ending. But my God, when they turn this psychological corner on you at the end of this film, it to me ended so abruptly, so flat, and so unrealistic that it was like, I get what you're doing, but why do you have to do it just to do it? You told this great, awesome murder mystery story, and I wasn't even upset with the different twists and turns that it took. But it just suddenly, it's just like, well, da-da-da, da-da-da.
Gotta wrap this up.
And it was like, what? This doesn't make sense. Like, these characters would not act how it suddenly turns at the end. So I was hoping that you would see it so we could really tear into it. But I'd be very curious to hear what any listeners thought of that film. Am I the only guy on earth that thought that? Like, am I just not cool enough to get the psychological twist at the end? And did I just not get it? Or was it what I thought, a killer, missing person, murder mystery, troubled couple, crime story that they just tried to take this weird twist on you at the end? Because there's a twist halfway through that's bitching, but then there's like almost like this unrealistic, just films do that sometimes. Every once in a while you see a movie and you love it and you can't believe that they shit the bed in the last 10 minutes. I'm telling you, the last 10 minutes.
Wow.
Like, you're just in the zone for 110 minutes, and then in the last 10 minutes it's like, no way. Like, no fucking way. So I was super bummed. So I'm raving about the first 85% of a movie that was huge a year ago. There you go.
Okay.
Gone Girl. Great film. For me, 85% into. There you go. There's our raves.
Okay.
The Martian and 85% of Gone Girl. Apparently, you and I, without even speaking, we're discussing the Matt Damon Ben Affleck scenario. Dan, talk to us about IT Corner this week. Dan's IT Corner. Do you have a topic for the folks?
Well, the only thing that happened this weekend is sort of IT related. Not really. There was a T-Mobile data breach. So Experian, which is one of the major 3 credit processing companies in the U.S.
Okay.
T-Mobile uses them to run their credit checks.
Okay.
So if you, and I think it was from like September of 2013 to basically this past September of 2015, applied for a T-Mobile phone.
Okay.
They run your credit. In that time window, Experian's data got hacked and dumped. So if you're a T-Mobile customer, your shit's probably out there.
Oh boy.
T-Mobile,
you mean like another fappening?
Well, without Jennifer Lawrence, so no. But
so does that mean that's the last we see of Aaron? Once he finds out that T-Mobile's been hacked, he's gonna have to leave the country.
I think that's the least of his reasons to leave the country. He's got a lot of serious ones. So it just means that there was another data breach, and it probably affects some people. You're not a T-Mobile customer.
No.
I am. I don't know that many people, but if you live in the U.S. and you are, they offer if you sign on T-Mobile, you can sign up for free 2 years of credit monitoring protection from Experian, the company that got hacked in the first place. So it's kind of I signed up for it. It's really a catch-22.
It sounds like a bunch of shit.
It's a bunch of shit.
Yeah.
So,
hey, we fucked up, but we'll make it right by doing the same thing that we were supposed to do right.
Right.
Like BP with the oil. You know what I mean? Like,
we're sorry.
Yeah, that's such a great bit. And speaking of raves, South Park's new season has started.
It's back. I'm one episode behind. I'm not completely caught up.
There's only been 3 so far.
There's only 3 episodes.
It's so good. That show is... It's so good and it's so special. We've talked about it multiple times on this podcast, but it just gets better and better. And it's to the point where it almost just like, what will ever be funnier than that? I mean, it's just magnificent, especially in terms of like social satire and raunch, because I love that they blend those 2 lines, because I feel like that's the type of person that I am. It's either really kind of smart, intelligent, or it's a fart joke. And that's just my existence. And that show just like,
it's both.
It speaks to me in volumes, you know? So,
it's priceless.
That's so good. Well, getting into topics this week. You ready to hop in?
Yeah.
Anything else you want to touch? Okay. We have a topic for the listener, and it stemmed from what I have been doing. You had mentioned something going on the past couple of days. I got hired to work at the Avocado Festival.
Delicious.
The Avocado Festival is a 3-day huge street fair in the city of Carpinteria, which is about 30 minutes from us. It's in between Ventura and Santa Barbara. Yeah. Cool little town. And for close to 30 years, they've had this massive event called the Avocado Festival. And actually, I was told that it's one of the biggest free festivals, street festivals in the United States.
Really?
That seems a little extreme, but I could believe it in California because they don't charge. You can go to the avocado festival and you don't pay a dime, which is pretty cool.
Everything else does charge.
Big street, blah, blah, blah. To my surprise, I wasn't really aware of this. I'd only been there once or twice. If you live where we are, you know of the avocado festival.
Definitely.
They have avocado ice cream and avocado this and avocado that and all that sort of shit. Guacamole, all that jazz. But here is the big thing. They have a lot of music there, Dan. More than I thought. I just thought it was a family street fair, but I was unaware that they actually have 3 completely separate stages and music all day.
Really?
So they have close to 100 different artists playing over 3 days, and that's a lot.
That's crazy.
That's a lot of acts.
In 3 days?
3 days. So one's a big stage, like with a scrim and a high stage, and it's on a side street. One's kind of like a little, almost like a small stage, kind of like in a square. One's a tent stage that's small. So we're not talking about the biggest stages on earth, but music going. And the people that book it, great people that do this event, again, really, really good people, and they make it very diverse. So it's a family event. So you have everything from, I heard so much music at the stage that they asked me to MC and manage for the weekend. I mean, I heard Irish bands, country bands, solo artists, singer-songwriters, cover bands, tribute bands, original music, jam bands. And so it was a real big mix, and I'm only at one stage. So it was kind of interesting. I enjoyed myself. There was no problems whatsoever. It went really smooth. But something dawned on me, and when we were talking topics this week, cover bands. Cover bands are bands that play other people's songs. I saw so many cover bands over the past 4 days of being in that event.
How many Sublime cover bands?
None, thankfully. None. I'm
stunned.
With that said, though, I was kind of... It was on my mind because I was to see the modern cover band in the current musical climate. It's a strange beast. I grew up in South Jersey where cover bands still kind of rule the roost because there's a lot of bars. There's a lot of summer outdoor bars, drinking, partying.
Much bigger outside of California, I think.
Yeah, much bigger. California is odd in that it's not so cover band centric like the Midwest is, right. The South is, the East Coast. There are bands that literally that's what they do.
Yeah.
And they're bigger bands. Like they have followings, as weird as that sounds, where 150 people show up just to watch them play covers.
Well, I mean, that's changing a little bit. Our friend Bob Amendola from South Shaw now is in a Blink 182 cover band called Blink 182 True, and they fucking sell out House of Blues and shit. It's crazy. They're doing really, really well.
Bizarre. So a weird thing has happened to speed up the cover band thing. So cover bands have always existed since the beginning of bands, no doubt about it. And it's where everybody starts. When you and I picked up guitars, we didn't pick up a guitar and start writing original songs.
You learn the stuff you like.
Learn songs. And I was in basically a cover band that had a couple originals in high school. You were in a cover band that had a couple originals in high school. Sort of.
No, we did all originals.
Oh, sorry.
That's why we were so terrible.
Dan's first band, Circumcised,
that's
apparently played all originals
with Aaron and Jesse Jacobs.
Yes. Yeah. That's a subject for another time. Actually, we talked in one of our early podcasts about original bands.
Yeah.
You ever want to hear a good podcast? Find that one. I don't know what number it is. Dan will dig it up. So cover bands, and the band, our band, Army of Freshmen, very early, I'm taking out of the gate, made a very conscientious effort not to go down the road of covers.
Sure.
We would occasionally do one cover in the set, and eventually I think we tossed it because we would find that invariably, if people didn't know you, they would come up to you afterwards and say, "Man, I love your cover of so-and-so."
Yeah.
So you just played 10 original songs.
We did some Beatles and shit.
And the earliest
I Am Not
days,
Your Broom.
in the
very
earliest days of Army of Freshmen,
when we were nothing but a coffee shop band.
When you were playing horns.
Yeah.
So here's a little Army of Freshmen trivia for anybody that gives a damn about this old school shit. That's no one. I believe we covered the Beatles' Come Together.
We did.
And we covered the Proclaimers' We
did do 500
miles. Those were like our two covers early.
We did I Am Not Your Broom as well.
Okay, we did an obscure They Might Be Giants tune.
It's a great song.
Great song. So we took the road less traveled and did the original thing, and a lot of guys
quote an Army of Freshmen.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of guys get into covers, and there's nothing wrong with covers and playing.
No, not at all.
It's a little weird where I come from, where some of these guys start to get big heads, like they're actually like the big deal.
Real quickly, it's episode 12.
Episode 12.
Our first bands.
Our first bands. Yep. Great episode.
Dig that up if you want.
Yeah, hop on iTunes, look at the archive, and dig up episode 12. And you'll learn about the history of Circumcised and 19th Hole and Wyclef, all these seminal high school bands.
John's first band.
Yeah. So, with that said, again, I've always kind of been an anti-cover band man. I just respect guys that take the time to write their own material, learn it with other guys, and perform it.
Yeah,
that's where I come from.
I don't want to be known for somebody else's work.
Yeah. Across the board. I mean, that's what it sums up. However, if you don't have any interest in writing your own music, which is okay,
sure,
and you just want to play other people's music, some people don't want to write original stuff. They have no desire to do that.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine. So cover bands are great. But when they start thinking they're the shit, it weirds me out a little bit, because it's like, are you seriously big-headed or being picky or being weird, and you're going up on stage to play a Tom Petty tune? So over the course of this weekend, I heard so many cover bands. It's a family event, so you're going to see a lot of, they want the covers, and older guys. I mean, significantly.
That makes a lot of sense.
Older guys, and when I say older guys, I mean guys that look like my dad and your dad jamming on a stage,
probably shredding.
Yeah, on a stage playing covers. Some were good, some were bad. I saw all different levels.
Man, I would love to see my dad and your dad in a band, especially since my dad plays nothing.
Totally. Well, hey, my dad is in a cover band.
Of course he is.
My old man is in a cover band.
Dad's a musician. Your dad was also in Yes.
Yeah. So, of course, nobody knows the real story.
He was in it.
Yeah, for like 30 minutes.
It's fine. It's fine.
So the
it's on Wikipedia probably. I'll put it there.
The wiki, yes wiki. So the seems to be the choice tunes of cover bands now I was seeing a lot of classic rock cover bands.
Well, see, that's what a cover band to me is. That's kind of what I grew up hearing in cover bands.
A lot of classic rock.
Yeah,
a lot of classic rock. When we were coming up as teenagers, there was a whole cover band movement of the alternative stuff and the grunge stuff, and like a lot of radio cover bands. The problem is, and this is where it gets really interesting, is radio now isn't a lot of bands per se. It's a lot of dance music. It's a lot of hip hop. It's a lot of music that a cover band can't replicate.
Not a 4 or 5 piece band,
which is really strange. So cover bands are kind of falling to again, we talk about the state of music all the time, but the DJ revolution, and in a very strange way, DJ and hip hop and the state of radio and EDM has actually affected the cover band market. Because there was times when I was growing up with my band or with Army of Freshmen where we bump into a cover band that drew people or brought people out, and we're like, what the fuck? And they were just playing songs off the radio. But now radio sounds a way that, like you said, a 4-piece band really can't replicate.
Not without some dude on a computer tweaking knobs and shit.
Yeah, so a lot of these bands are regulated to playing the old stuff and becoming kind of classic rock bands. So what I saw was a lot of classic rock cover bands this weekend, tons of them. And let me tell you, the artist that every single fucking cover band that I heard this weekend, keep in mind, I was at this stage at times for 12 straight hours.
Throw out a guess.
Go for it. What artist number? There were three that were played ad nauseum.
Okay. I'm going Tom Petty.
Ding, 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 ding. I don't know what it is, but these bands are drawn to play Petty. Yeah. I mean, I'm telling you, I saw cover bands, not Tom Petty tribute bands, cover bands that literally played 3 songs in a 40-minute set.
Yeah.
You're a cover band. You're supposed to mix it up. Yet for somehow there's 3 Petty tunes in the mix. Home run 100% without a doubt. The other one is an older artist, which is surprising, but see what you got.
I got to guess Creedence.
Great guess. Not correct, though. I wish. I would have loved to hear some
I love me some Creedence. Certainly not the Doors. I mean, maybe Dylan. Nobody's weird enough to do Dylan.
I heard 1 or 2 Dylan tunes.
Yeah.
But no, not Dylan. I mean, think Biggie.
Not like Aerosmith or anything.
No. The Beatles.
Oh, so I was too new.
Everybody throws a Beatles jam in. From the acoustic acts to the solo acts to the full bands, everybody sneaks a Beatles tune in. Last but not least, and I think in many ways because he has a connection to this area and is so big in this area to the point that there's a festival in his name.
Jeff Bridges.
You're gonna love this. Hold on, Jeff Bridges, for 1 second. Because Jeff Bridges was basically there,
Kevin
but
Costner.
he wasn't. Ready? Johnny fucking Cash.
Yeah,
Holy
of course.
Shit.
Dude, I mean, there's 5 minutes up the road to the sign, and it's like Cedar Springs, home of Johnny Cash.
Johnny Cash lived there for like a summer.
I know.
And they act like he like came up there.
Yeah.
But Johnny Cash is so beat into the ground around these parts.
Oh my
I mean,
God.
it's I don't know how it is on the East Coast or the Midwest. I'm sure it's just every single act. We're going to do a Johnny Cash tune. And when everybody says his name, they do the voice. Like, we're going to do a Johnny Cash tune right now. You know, and then instantly I heard this song. I know you're going to say, Chris, you're exaggerating, at least 7 times over the course of a weekend. I hear that train coming around the bend. At one point, I went to go get an avocado taco. And one stage, an artist was playing that tune. And as I walked back to the stage that I was stage managing, the artist was playing that tune. I was like, this is like a Twilight Zone episode where the only music that exists is Johnny Cash.
It's like when you're flipping stations and 2 stations in town have the same song playing.
That's always weird.
Is this the same station?
There was a Johnny Cash tribute.
There's a Johnny Cash festival in Ventura.
Oh, I know. There's a million Johnny Cash tributes, but there was a gentleman, ready for this, who was doing a Johnny Cash tribute with his elderly wife, who was being June Carter Cash.
Is he like the new Elvis?
Yes.
Wait.
Yes, he is the new Elvis.
But he toured with Elvis. He can't be the new Elvis.
I know. So Johnny Cash, tribute man, this is where it gets really creepy. He's doing fucking karaoke, dude. He's playing a track with backup vocals, with backup drums, with backup bass, with backup lead guitar, and he is occasionally strumming an acoustic, and he's singing, and his lady is singing, and it's to the point that he's not even hitting a pedal to go to the next song. The dude plays it, and he knows the timing of every tune. So it's like, so this next song Johnny Cash wrote in 1967, Bob Dylan covered it. And then he joins in. I was like, what the fuck is going on here? And people are loving it.
Wow.
Loving it.
I wonder if there's going to be like a cottage industry in Casita Springs of Johnny Cash impersonators that will marry you.
Here's what's weird about freaking Johnny Cash is he wasn't revered like that when he was alive.
No,
he was a legendary figure.
Absolutely.
He was Johnny Cash. He was the man in black. But something happened when that guy died, and the whole game changed. People said
when the movie came out,
like that was a big part of it.
Huge.
And people said, you know what? We're gonna make him like Elvis. You know, we need a new, a new legendary person to put in that world. It was overkill, dude. It was overkill. So I got to thinking while I'm watching all these cover bands, what has happened, because they're not taking over. I don't think they're doing well. Like, these bands were excited to get these gigs, but they were just interchangeable. And it was like, God, I would love to hear some original music. And the 2 or 3 guys that came out and did original music, I actually enjoyed, even though maybe it wasn't that good. It was just so nice to hear something that I never had heard before.
Totally.
Yet people love fucking covers. People were getting up and dancing left and right. They would like what they're familiar with. So we have the cover band that's existed forever, will always exist, but it's on hard times due to the state of
music. Sure.
But something has happened in the past couple of years. The tribute band has come into effect and has become very powerful and has overshadowed the cover bands.
Yeah, they've gained some traction.
Tribute bands are huge right now. There is a concert series in Ventura at the Levis Adobe. Called Music Under the Stars.
Yeah, it's great.
We played it once.
We did. It's wonderful.
To this day, supposedly the loudest band that ever performed there, and I'm proud of that.
Badge we wear proudly.
Yeah, exactly. But here's the catch. They had 10 concerts throughout the summer. Every time they had a tribute act, every other week was a tribute act.
I didn't know that.
Sold out. This summer. Sold out. Every other week, a third of the amount of people. So you're going from 400 or 500 people coming out down to like 152. Literally, And I'm talking a cover band. Like, you know, hey, only 150 people show up for a cover band, but god damn it, Beatles tribute's coming, Eagles tribute's coming, Queen tribute coming. I mean, anybody you can name there's a whole industry right now, and clubs that used to book cover bands for their Saturday nights or Sunday nights or Friday nights, they now want tribute bands. Owen is in essentially, if you don't know, dear listener, Owen from our band has basically spent the past year playing in an 80s metal tribute band called Mandex. And they're great. They're great.
But they're not like a tribute band to one band.
But they call it tribute. It's an 80s metal tribute.
It's a tribute to 80s metal.
If you
but
say
it's not,
the word,
it's not like Bon Jovi tribute.
But they dress up. And that's the thing about these tributes, or it's about looking the part. So
Owen wears tights. It's weird.
It's way weird with a big blonde wig. And they're great. They're a lot of fun. So here's where with tribute bands getting so huge, and that's bizarre because now, Dan, we're not talking about guys that are playing other people's songs and mixing it up in different songs. We're talking about grown men who are playing pretend. They are playing pretend.
So
there's nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it. But they are dressing up like an artist and trying to sound like the artist down to the T, because the key to tributes are trying to sound as close to the artist as possible. Exact. They're huge right now. They're killing it. So there were a couple tributes at this thing. And I'm telling you, every time a tribute came, blah, blah, blah. Well, it has gone this crazy. Yes, there's the Beatles tributes and the Stones tributes. But now we're starting to see bands that aren't necessarily as legendary as... Do you want me to talk louder in this mic?
No. Your little mic pop screen is coming off. Just...
Oh, it's coming up.
There you go.
Thank you. You're doing this way. If anybody's watching this
weird
live,
hand motion. No one's... Yeah. I'm watching. It's us.
Yeah. Hi. It's quiet one tonight. We didn't get the promo.
That's true.
So... now we're starting to see bands that, by all accounts, probably shouldn't have tribute bands, or there's really not a market, but tributes are getting so huge.
You're talking like a Big D and the Kids Table tribute band, like, because they're great, but I don't know if they need a tribute band.
Not far off. This weekend at this event I was at was a tribute band to, are you ready for this? Supertramp. Supertramp.
Really?
6 or 7 grown-ass men who have learned so fuck yeah, I couldn't believe it. Who have learned note for note perfection the music of Supertramp.
Not Superchunk.
Not Superchunk. Supertramp.
Okay.
Supertramp, if you do not know Supertramp, is one of the bands that you always hear on classic rock radio, but you don't
know who it is.
Yeah. You know, their big one was Give a Little Bit of Your Life to Me, Love to Me. Their other big one was this tune Logical, which I've always annoyed me. Like, when I was young, you used to think that life was logical, so indifferent. Yeah. Sounded like Mr. Roboto.
Totally.
Canadian band, as far as I know. Had a couple minor hits. They also had one song that's pretty good, like Goodbye Sally.
Oh, that's
Goodbye Jane.
No,
it's a good song. That's Supertramp. That's Supertramp. Yeah. So
you're telling me the Magnolia soundtrack is overrun by Supertramp?
Apparently, yeah. Okay.
Other than Amy,
it's to the point. It's to the point that Supertramp has a tribute band, and these guys are great players.
They're super weird,
and it was just absolutely bizarre. And here's where it gets a little weird. And I mean, if anybody listens to this and knows, they could probably trace who some of these bands I'm talking about are. But the Supertramp tribute band that was on a small stage. I was not at the main stage. Guess who the biggest pain in the ass in terms of gear, in terms of just kind of like maybe big heads of the entire weekend of all the bands that I worked with? The Supertramp tribute band.
That's so weird.
That tribute band acted more like rock stars than original bands. Like, there were a couple of Carpinteria, sort of Santa Barbara based rock bands that played later that night that brought some people, you know. It was like, because Avocado's big. It's kind of like, I talk to these bands, I'm like, dude, you got 200 people here rocking out in this tent. This is badass. And like, dude, if we play on a Saturday night, no one comes to see us. It's Avocado. It's free, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
So I saw some good rocking bands from Santa Barbara that I'm not even familiar with, because Ventura and Santa Barbara scenes are very separate.
They're very different.
But I couldn't believe that a band playing 40 minutes in the afternoon on a side stage in a tent at an Avocado festival was the biggest or most, I don't want to say conceited, because they didn't seem like bad guys, just guys that were, you know what I mean, right?
Right.
Were a tribute band to Supertramp. I mean, it was amazing. And the best part of all was when freaking the guy is talking during the thing to the crowd. He's like, anybody out there like Supertramp? And like, you hear like the scattered applause. Nobody knows who Supertramp is. You hear a tune or two, you know, but these guys are playing these deep cuts. Like, people are just going to be like, fuck yeah, they're playing the Tramp. It was bizarre, dude. It was just bizarre. So I just think the whole tribute thing has gone insane. And at least culturally, in terms of where the United States is located, we may be experiencing a different phenomenon. I mean, there are other parts of the country that may be harder on their cover bands, or, you know, but again, all these bands are getting hurt by electronic music and EDM and dance and all that, and DJs. But the tributes are doing best out of all bands, out of original bands, cover bands, and tribute band. If you go to a bar and say, hey, I got a tribute band to the Beatles, I've got a cover band, and we do great 60s, 70s rock, and I've got this awesome original band that's got a couple records out, I guarantee you the bartender says, give me the tribute. Because people come out because they want to see,
they want the whole experience.
People dress up, the experience.
I, you know, in my limited experience, I can attest to that sort of. I mean, I have 3 that I will regale you with. First and foremost being when I went to Spain, I had to stop in England. So Graham, and I think
tribs are big in England. They were bigger in England before here.
So here's the thing: we went to Liverpool, and like you can only
forget about
it. And it was also Beatles week, and we went to the Cavern Club.
That's cool.
It was all Beatles all the time in this club, but it was fucking awesome. Like they had shows in the front and the back rooms of the Cavern Club. The front room was like, at least when we were there, was this Brazilian like Beatles tribute band, and they were like, but early tribute, like early Beatles, like they were doing the old stuff,
the Cavern Club style.
Yeah, and they were dressed in suits, and they like did the old Beatles shit. The back room was later
before
Beatles
they
shit.
smoked weed.
Yeah, and they looked like the Beatles. Like the dude playing the keyboard looked like John Lennon. Like he had John Lennon style glasses. He was wearing the army jacket, and they were fantastic. And I was like, this is great. But I was at the Cavern Club in Liverpool. Like, that's where they started.
Yeah.
Secondly, oh, Jesus, I lost my train of thought. Well, the band that we were did a tribute band with, I used to call it Super Cover Band. It was called Big Band. Yes. So Aaron Johnson, who's, you know, a friend and local musician, he's been on the podcast once before. We
have a very rare, it hasn't happened in quite a while, but Army Freshman has an offshoot 10-man cover band.
It's not just, it's not just us. It's all of us, but like
10 guys, 2 drummers.
10
and we haven't done it in like 3 years.
No.
But that's a cover band.
That is absolutely cover.
Not a tribute band at all, though. But our thing was it was a gaggy thing that we would do at events and have 10 guys on stage.
But Aaron Johnson that sings plays in Warning, which is an Ozzy Osbourne Black Sabbath tribute band, and he they go all out. He does,
and they make more money doing that. Aaron Johnson, who you may know as an artist, dear listeners, Aaron Orbit is one of the more talented guys you'd ever want to hear, and I really believe that he is something fucking special. One of the best artists ever to come from this area, and you know his original stuff. A couple people know it, like it, but the minute he breaks out the Black Sabbath trib, he packs a club.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
Or Ventura Theater.
Big band, our cover band thing. It's depressing. We would do that. And we would be like a main stage act at a local festival with like 500 people, 1,000 people rocking out, going off. And Army of Freshmen and the other guys who had a band that were part of that played earlier at the same event to, 75, 100 people.
Chuck D didn't come to the Army of Freshmen show.
Yeah, exactly. We always tell people that Chuck D jammed with Army of Freshmen. The truth is Chuck D never jammed with Army of Freshmen. Chuck D jammed with our cover band because he was like, dude, this is awesome. There's 10 guys on stage and we played Bring the Noise. But what was awesome about that is he thought it was Army of Freshmen, so he kept screaming Army of Freshmen on stage. So it works for me.
Fucking A, Chuck.
But that's just it's a strange state of affairs. And with less people even caring about original music, the best artist I saw all weekend was a girl named Mimi Rogers. Local girl. She's over in New Zealand now. Dude, it's a voice. It's just magic. She is 100% one of the rare. That's the real deal.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Just it comes out of her. Her voice is beautiful. She's she could be a star in, like, let's say the indie folk world.
Sure.
Not for everybody, but she could go to England and play folk festivals and people would be jumping off the bridge and NPR would have her on and all that shit.
So she's going to be in the next season of True Detective.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But she doesn't want anything to do with that. She actually is like just a normal performer. But I think her name's Mimi Gilbert. I'm sorry about that. It's not Mimi Rogers. I think that's an old show tune lady. Isn't that an old actress?
Yes.
Mimi Gilbert is her name. I'm sorry about that. Look her up. She'll be blown away if you hear this girl's voice. At any rate, she had people watching her, a couple of people hanging out, having a snack, but they're just kind of talking in the back. And I'm thinking, these people are waiting for this cover band that's coming on after her.
Yeah.
And they're seeing the real deal. They're the rare real deal. Like, you know, we probably have only encountered on two hands, we could probably count the amount of acts that were like, holy shit. Not that's great, but something is occurring here. And I'm thinking, like, I wanted to grab the mic and be like,
one of them was Newfound Glory.
Yeah, true. I wanted to grab the mic and be like, literally, stop playing.
Fuck you
guys.
Don't
deserve to hear this. Like, you have real art in front of you that really could change a lot of lives, and you are instead eating guacamole, waiting for the cover band that's coming up. It's going to play 18 Tom Petty songs. It was just like, you know, it's tough as an original artist to sit back and watch all that, you know,
especially at a festival. I mean, if you go to a concert, you're there to see the artist that you're going to see, and whoever their opening acts. If they're good, you'll pay attention. But like a festival like that, especially a food festival, people there are there for the avocados or the strawberries or whatever the festival may be.
Out here is the land of food festivals. You know, we have a strawberry festival, we have an avocado festival, we have a banana festival, we have a lemon festival. We've got, I mean, if it grows on a tree, we'll throw a festival.
A few hours north, there's the garlic festival.
Yeah, the garlic festival. I mean, even Cape May, where I'm from, that the lima bean festival. That's a weird thing.
That sounds kind of gross.
Isn't it strange how small? But it's always smaller towns.
I like
Los Angeles doesn't have. Dude, actually, there's lima bean soup. Holy shit, so good.
It's delicious. I can't see having a festival about them.
No, people love it. It's bizarre. So that was my weekend. That was the subject that I wanted to touch on. We've never really talked cover bands and stuff, you know. So, and I wish Kai was here because Kai could shed some great light on this subject. Yes. I'm sure he's got some, because he's seen all sides of it too. But it's weird times. I mean, ultimately, my point in all of this is it is weird times to be a live performing band. It's strange times because do you do a tribute? Do you do covers? Do you stick with the original thing? I mean, it's hard to get booked as an original act and have people show up. And that's just the reality of it.
It is very hard.
It's a strange time right now. Even in our town, music scene where we live goes in waves. It always has. But we're at a crash point right now because a bunch of different places have shut down. I mean, it's just kind of quiet. I mean, it's just the music in general for live musicians, I think, is at a very, almost kind of at a crossroads. Like, I'm very curious to see what's going to happen in the next 5 years. Will it get to the point that restaurants don't even want the 2-3 guys playing acoustic songs in the corner because a new generation's coming up that didn't grow up with that? Our parents did. Our parents love it. If you say, hey, there's a bar that's got a DJ playing tunes and there's 3 guys playing acoustic Jimmy Buffett songs in the corner, they're going to go in the place with the live music. That's how they embrace it. But club owners, promoters, they don't think like that anymore. I mean, restaurants, like live music's too loud. It's a distraction. You know, it's such a strange time. And kids coming up are so used to music being background, they have trouble when it's focal point. I mean, a live band is focal point. So they want to just have it on in the background, little music kick, and they can talk, they can try and hook up, they can fuck, whatever. But, you know, the idea of like, hey, we're not going to talk right now because we're going to watch this band for 40 minutes and we'll talk after them.
Yeah.
It's a weird concept for kids. They don't, I say kids, but I'm talking teenagers, you know, people in their early 20s. I don't think that they get their live entertainment like that. They like festivals where they can see 1,000 bands over 3 days and then never go see another concert all year.
And it's not like festivals haven't always existed, especially in the States. They have, but they've never been as successful as they are right now.
Yeah.
And in Europe, I think they've been around longer, at least at that success level.
And the culture of it.
Yeah. And festival culture, certainly. And that's sort of spread its way over here. Obviously, it's easier in Europe where everything's close together. Yeah, I didn't hear, like, what the fuck is Bonnaroo? Like, I learned of that when I got a job at a record store. Like, oh, so-and-so's coming to Bonnaroo. And I was like, what's a Bonnaroo?
Like the Midwest or the down south.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, but it's just fucking bizarre, man. It's just bizarre. I was talking to Ed, our agent. And we were just talking about ideas for next year, if there's anything that could be put into play. And he said, right now, he was like, it is such a strange time. He's talking about England. He was like, it's just getting weirder and weirder. He was saying, I don't want to name the band because it's not cool, but a band that you and I are big fans of, and a band that, you know, we have relationships with, that's a bigger band. We normally would play, let's just put it this way. If they played the venue that they played, they'd sell it out 3-4 nights in a row, no question, or they'd be in a significantly bigger venue. They did 2 nights and didn't even sell out both nights. And 5 years ago, it would have been like, oh shit, I can see so-and-so there. It would be like they could do like a week stint, you know?
Wow.
And he's like, it's just weird. He was like, what's happening right now is just all the weird, you know, bands that are together for 2 weeks that are, you know, artsy, kind of hipster, that get one article, and then the cool thing is everybody rushes out and reads them on the blogs and, you know, goes to the one website,
and then they're gone.
But not a couple years later.
Yeah, it's like a week later,
6 months later, done. It's almost like, so he's like, we got musicians over here that are just starting a project literally to do 2 or 3 singles and play a couple shows and get as much out of it as they can for like 6 months to a year. And then they're going in knowing that's that.
It's going to be that.
Yeah, I'll start a new project after that.
And then I'll work with Ed Sheeran or something.
Yeah, put a weird name on it. It's just strange times, man. So going to this Avocado Festival and stage managing and seeing all these dudes, it kind of made me go kind of full circle from being a kid in a cover band to being a guy who had a career with an original band to now wondering what the fuck's going on, you know? In much bigger subjects. It's not all about cover bands. But
sure.
My whole point is cover bands are now suffering. It used to be like, nobody wants to see original music, but the covers will do good.
Yeah,
now they're hurting.
How does it feel, fuckers?
Yeah, exactly. Totally. All those good bookings you got, you know. So.
Assholes.
Strange times, Dan.
Yeah.
Strange times for music. Really is.
Well, I have it on good authority that we can do really well with a good Spirit cover band. So
okay. Spirit. I'm sure that's out there because they're getting weirder and weirder.
Of course.
I was thinking like, you know, fuck at this point, like I was like seeing a Supertramp cover band. That's almost like and this is not a right analogy, but that's like somebody starting a Hot Rod Circuit tribute band. You know,
I would love that.
Hot Rod Circuit. I mean, literally, I think we're one of the more underrated bands.
We should do
from that period.
Definitely.
And I'm thinking like, yeah, fuck, maybe we should do that. I'd love to play Hot Rod Circuit songs.
Fuck yeah.
But I'm like, but not many people are going to care.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, it's not fair, but not many people are really going to give a shit that you have a Hot Rod Circuit cover band or a tribute band. But that's like what people are into right now. It's just short term. And we came from an era, and especially with our band, it was all about the long haul.
Longevity.
It was the longevity. It was putting in the man hours. It was the 10,000 hours of work. It was grinding out there on the road. It wasn't about get instant out. It was like building, and everybody we talked to and managers and labels, it was, you're thinking long term and legacy. Now that is literally gone.
We were like 2 industry shifts ago though.
Yeah,
you know, when we started.
It's true.
So
yeah,
there have been 2 major shifts.
We had our foot in the old industry. We got to see a little piece of what like the guys mentors to us, like the Jay Fergusons, the guys, Michael Davenports, you know, the guys that get the tear in their eye and said, kid, you should have been in a rock band in the 70s. You know, everybody got laid and everybody got paid, you know, from the bar band playing in front of 20 people to the bands in the stadiums. It was like, if you played,
things were happening.
You made money and you got girls. It's crazy. It's just wild.
Oversaturation. Everybody wanted that, I guess.
Everybody wanted a piece of it. Damn Kurt Cobain. He ruined everything. Well, that's our topic for the week, Dan.
Yeah. I think it is a good topic. I mean, it puts a new light on the, as you said, not the cover band, but the tribute band, especially, you know, that cover bands are suffering at the hands of tribute bands and the state of music.
Yeah. It's weird that like cover bands cover bands ate themselves. The cover became condensed that it was one artist, right? That like, so when you and I talk about we're original band playing in a cover and everybody liked their cover, and then there's one guy, it's like, you know what, let's just play fucking covers because that's what everybody likes. A cover band played a crap load of Tom Petty tunes. I lost my little fuzzy cover.
You lost your fuzzy cover.
A cover band plays a bunch of Tom Petty tunes, right? And then one guy in the band says, maybe we should just be a Petty trip, you know? And then hence cover bands were destroyed by extreme cover bands.
Dressing and speaking the part.
Yeah. Well, there you go. So in closing, Dan, if you could start a tribute band to any band out there, what tribute band would you want to be in? Forget if audiences like them or not. For your own personal satisfaction, whose music, if it's not your own music that you helped write, whose music would you walk on stage every night with a smile and be happy to play?
Oh my God. It's going to be impossible to
I know the answer for me.
To what? I think I know the answer for you too. But there are so many factors that go into this, including the band that keeps playing on my phone when I pop it into my car, like just because it starts playing. Like I've been in a fierce, endless loop of the stereo rewind and record because that just starts playing.
Oh wow!
It's gonna be.
Hey, that'd be fun as hell to play stereo songs every night.
But I'd love to do that record.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
I mean, the whole canyon's pretty intense.
Oh God, it's so good.
I just have to go. I'm going with my all-time favorite band. They Might Be Giants.
Of course.
Just because, again, even though a lot of the new stuff has left me high and dry, I could gladly play the first 6-7 records again and again and again and again.
Do a different show every week with that band.
And it would just be cool to meet people that love the shit out of them. And they're out there.
The shit out of that.
Oddly enough, I actually think in a strange way, that's the type of cover band that some people would really get behind. Not a lot. I'm not saying crazy, but you could go and 50 people would show up and sing along word for word and just be stoked to be around They Might Be Giants fans.
I have to break out the accordion.
Yeah. Who do you got?
Oh, God, I mean, I'm gonna. It's really tough because right now, like, the stereo is just lodged in my brain.
Okay.
But Get Up Kids, I mean, they're so fucking good.
That'd be great.
I could do a Get Up Kids band.
If you did a tribute band, you'd want to do something that's got a deep catalog, because you wouldn't want to do, like, you know what I mean? Like, I love Weezer, but that's going to turn into a Blue album. I'm wearing a Weezer shirt.
That's going to be Blue and Pinkerton is what it's going to be.
It's going to be the first 2 records, and maybe I'll sprinkle in 4 or 5 other songs.
Sure.
But that's what's great about They Might Be Giants to me. There's a lot to work from, you know.
I would do a Weird Al tribute band.
That's awesome. I'd go see that.
I mean, they're deep in my history. So.
I'd be your Bermuda Jay Schwartz.
You'd have to be.
Sweet. All right. Well, folks, as always, thank you for listening.
His name's John Bermuda Schwartz.
John Bermuda Schwartz, man. Mess
up
the names
dare
tonight.
you?
As always, we need some topic ideas. We need some fodder. What are some of the things you want us to cover?
We did get one suggestion from Fuzz on Twitter. During our absence last week, I sent out a tweet and a Facebook saying, "What do you want to hear?"
Yes.
We got one response, so thank you.
Yes.
About our favorite takeout foods. So maybe we'll include that as part of a larger topic.
I think we could do a food podcast, the best food ever.
Absolutely, do
best restaurants we ever ate at. Let's do that next week. Best restaurants we ever ate at. Favorite meals.
Okay.
Like last meal. All that kind of stuff.
Sure, we can do last.
Sounds good. I'll have to eat prior to that because I'll be starving. If we
totally.
Talking about my favorite. Oh God, that should be fun. Cool. Awesome, folks. Well, Dan, where can everybody find us?
You can find everything that we do at freshtalkpodcast.com, including our Twitter, which is at freshtalkpod, our Facebook, which is at
Can we get the coming soon off freshtalkpod.com?
Well, I mean, it was really for the website.
Yeah. But I mean, if you just click on Fresh Talk, then it'll take you to, iTunes. You can see the catalog, but I fear that somebody goes there and they just see coming soon like it doesn't exist.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I mean, the website's coming eventually. Maybe I'll change it to coming someday.
Okay.
Yes, we can take that.
Click here to listen to this shit.
Yeah. Fair enough.
And also, feel free to dip into the old catalog, folks.
Yes.
If you're new to this podcast, it's archived. Every one we've ever done. We have a lot of great topics on there. Funny shows, wild shows, serious shows, boring shows. There's something for everybody.
Weird shows. Yeah, and the entire catalog is online. You can get all of it on iTunes or your podcatcher of choice. I recommend Pocket Casts on both iOS and Android. It's wonderful. It's not free, but it works really, really well, and I use it every single day.
Love it.
Love it.
Love it.
Cut it in half and double it.
Yeah. And hit us up. Let us know what you'd like to hear. And we gotta start getting our guests going. I know we've been talking about the technology to make people able to call in, but a lot of ideas, a lot of people have reached out that want to be a part of it. And we just got to get that system set up.
Yeah.
I know. Because I want to do some interviews with some interesting people. Ask the hard questions.
Oh, yeah?
Trump. I want Trump.
Donald. You're fired.
You're fired. Well, folks, as always, thank you kindly for listening.
Thank you.
You want to take them out, Dan?
Like take them out.
Take them out.
To the ball game? Is that copyright infringement?
No, but that's actually
That's
public domain.
I know.
But I'm sure Warner Chapel wants their piece.
Pursuant to our conversation 2 weeks ago about Happy Birthday. Yeah. Hey, cue the bossa nova.
Cool. Whew. All right, homie. I got to roll.
Yeah.